Hello everyone, my name is Luke, aka Mr. Rage, and welcome back to another discussion video. So, I'm sure you guys can already tell by the title that yes, this is going to be a bit of a spicy discussion video because I am once again going to be talking about Nintendo. And for those of you who have been watching my content for a long time, you guys probably already know that I am not the biggest Nintendo fan. Now, before I say anything, I know that some of the Nintendo fans are probably going to stumble upon this video, and they're probably not going to be too happy, especially down there in the comments. So before I say anything else, this video is just my opinion, and I've said this before as well on the channel, for those who have been watching me for a long time. My opinion does not need to negatively affect you in any way unless you allow it to by actually getting upset over it. My opinion does not need to matter. You still have yours, and your opinions are the ones that you live with, and your opinions are obviously the ones that you are supposed to accept over anyone else's anyways. So the way you feel about something, and if I feel different about that something, it doesn't need to affect you in any negative way. So don't be an asshole in the comments. Don't be an asshole in general. It's just my opinion. Nothing more than that. So, yeah. Now that that's out of the way, let's get straight into the topic, into this video, and why I am not excited for the next-gen Switch. Now, another thing I want to say is, shout out to M64 Bros, by the way, who's actually a very, very popular and successful Nintendo fan here on our fine platform, YouTube. So, shout out to you, M64 Bros. You're a great guy. Love you. Love your community. Great shit. You're doing good stuff with your community. It's great. Great YouTuber as well. And one of the more respectful Nintendo fans on YouTube, because most Nintendo fanboys are not really respectful. But besides M64 Bros, for the OG Nintendo fans, for the one who have actually grown up with Nintendo's consoles and all of their wonderful exclusives, I respect you guys a lot, because you guys are OGs. You guys have been a part of the gaming community for a very long time now, and I respect you just because of that, but the fact that you guys are still such big fans of Nintendo and their exclusives so many years later, that is some serious love and dedication for a company and the games that they make, because they are the games that you guys love, and I love that you love Nintendo and their games. So for all of the OG respectful Nintendo fans, you guys are badass. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys remind me of myself, because I would consider myself an OG Xbox fan. I love Xbox because of their franchises and their games. You guys are the same with Nintendo's exclusives and their consoles. So, you guys are great. I love Nintendo and their fans, but I love the fans more than I love Nintendo themselves. The thing about me is, although I don't love Nintendo as much as I love, the PlayStation and Xbox, Nintendo has still been a part of my life, a very big part of my life, actually. If you guys know a little bit about my origin story, then you guys will probably already know that the Nintendo Wii, as well as the DS, were some of my first gaming machines growing up. Besides the Xbox 360, which was my actual first, Nintendo Wii was the second, and the DS and the 2DS were my third and fourth. So I am also a bit of an OG Nintendo fan, but the thing about me is that I'm not a huge fan of all of Nintendo's games. I mean, not like some of you guys are. I mean, a lot of Nintendo fans will buy Nintendo's consoles just for their favorite Italian plumber or Ghost Hunter or their favorite gorilla. I love King Kong as well. King Kong, Country something, I forgot the name. You guys know what I'm talking about. That King Kong game back on the Wii, oh man, one of my actual favorite Nintendo games of all time, especially growing up. And besides the Mario Kart game that I had on my Wii, I loved that fucking Donkey Kong game. You see, I've never been a huge fan of Mario. I like Mario. Mario is an iconic character. Even people who aren't very experienced with video games know that Mario is an iconic character, and he is known even by those who don't even play Mario games or even know a lot about Mario. That's how much recognition he has now. So Mario is a popular character, and he's also a very beloved character, as his creator himself, Nintendo, because, Nintendo is also a beloved company. But I'm not a huge fan of Mario. Like, I like Mario. Like, his games are cool. Like, I've had my fun with a good amount of Mario titles, but I don't love it. You know, I just don't love it. I don't love Mario, and I don't love his games either. I like them, but just not a huge fan. Except for Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch. Oh, loved the shit out of that game. That was a good game. But my favorite Nintendo franchises is actually Zelda and Metroid. And Metroid 4 has still not come out yet. You know, Nintendo is being about as silent on Metroid 4 as they are on the next-gen Nintendo console itself. Because, you know, Nintendo just doesn't really like saying what they're going to do in their future. Like, they don't really like giving hints or anything for that matter until they announce it. But God, the pain of waiting for it to be announced after so long, it's painful. But you see, the thing is this console, man, this console has come a long way, man. This console is a piece of junk now. I know. A very, very spicy thing to say, which is why I said this is going to be a spicy video. But yeah, this console's a piece of junk. Now, you see, I've said this before in the past, and I will say it again. The reason why I really don't like the Switch anymore is because this fucking thing, my God, it's so outdated. Like, I've been playing on PS5 and the Xbox for about 2 years now. So when I try and play on my Switch, I feel like I'm playing on an Xbox 360. Like, no. Actually, no. I feel like I'm trying to run next-gen or current-gen games on an Xbox 360. Because even going back to an Xbox 360 or a PS3 feels more smooth than going back to this console. Because this console is so outdated. And you see, one of the things about Nintendo, besides the fact that they're greedy and also really, really do a lot of shitty things, like delisting their best games from their best history and getting mad when people pirate those games, you know, besides all that, as well as, you know, copyrighting people, which is Nintendo's favorite thing to do, even copyrighting people who don't deserve to be copyrighted because that's just Nintendo. Besides all that, I really fucking hate how long Nintendo is making us wait for the next-gen Switch, because despite the fact that I'm not really excited for the next-gen Switch, I want to see what Nintendo's going to do with it. Like, my curiosity is kind of killing me. Like, I am actually somewhat excited, not fully, but somewhat excited to see what Nintendo will be bringing in with their next piece of hardware for next-gen, because hopefully it'll be next gen. Another problem that I have with Nintendo is Nintendo does not care a lot about making their hardware very powerful. And for me, that's a bit of a problem, because you see, the thing is I am already somewhat unhappy on PS5 and Xbox Series X. I've said this before in a couple of live streams. You guys probably already know if you actually stood long enough to hear me say in those live streams, I cannot stand the fact that on PS5 and Xbox Series X, I have to choose whether I want resolution being prioritized or frame rate. Like, I want both. I want good resolution and good frame rate at the same time. I don't want to pick and choose. Like, these are next-gen consoles, and yet I can't have the full next-gen experience. Like, I want the best frame rate and I want the best resolution, because it just makes me have an even better experience, and that's what these next-gen consoles are supposed to be offering. Like, I want all the next-gen capabilities. I want the full next-gen experience, and I hate how both the PS5 and the Xbox still can't do that. Like, I'm still choosing performance mode or over resolution mode or whatever. Like, I want good frame rate and good performance. Like, I don't want to choose one. So the reason why this pisses me off about Nintendo is I already don't like the fact that I can't have the full next-gen experience with the next-gen console. Like, it's actually fucking ridiculous. Like, I feel like Microsoft and Sony actually kind of lied to us. Like, to be honest, like, I feel like we were kind of lied to. I feel like we kind of got bullshitted, bamboozled, because why can't I have resolution and high frame rate? I want both. Like, are these next-gen consoles not next-gen enough? Is that it? I don't know. I don't know. So imagine Nintendo coming out with their next-gen console, and obviously it's gonna be weaker than the PS5 and the Xbox, especially if it's going to be like another Switch. Like, it's going to be weaker than both the PS5 and the Series X, and even the Series S probably, which is already weaker than both the Series X and the PS5. The next-gen Switch is probably going to be weaker than the Series S. If it's not, then hallelujah. If it's not, then that's fantastic. But I highly doubt that. Because one of my first problems with Nintendo, besides their greed and stupidity, is why can't Nintendo ever put some more focus on their hardware? Maybe if they did that with the Nintendo Switch, then maybe this console would not be as outdated as it is. Because even the PS4 is still getting a couple of next-gen games. I'm pretty sure the Xbox One has been delisted for being weaker than the PS4, but the PS4 is still getting next-gen games. I mean, Modern Warfare 3, which is not the best example, but okay, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Modern Warfare 3, which are two next-gen games, both those games came to PS4. And for an old dog like the PS4, it's still running, you know? It's still fetching those good experiences. Like, it can still fetch you a good experience with these next-gen games, despite the fact that the PS4 is a very old dog and should be put down now, but somehow it's not. I feel like the PS4 might actually go just as long as the Xbox 360 did, which also had a very long console life cycle. So, this console, like I already said, this console is way too weak, and I feel like Nintendo is going to make the same mistake with the next-gen Switch, if it's even going to be another portable console. Now, you see, the thing is, another thing that kind of worries me is the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, which I forgot the name of in my previous Nintendo video. It's called the ROG Ally. Both of these portable consoles are much better than the Switch. They're also both more powerful, and that's also why they have larger libraries than the Nintendo Switch does. Because this console also has a very small library. Like, yeah, you've got some pretty great games on here from both the Xbox One and the Xbox 360 era, because, you know, obviously the Switch has gotten a shit ton of remasters of older games from both 7th and 8th gen, which is great, I guess, but that's also another problem that I have with the Switch. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's great being able to play these older games on the Nintendo Switch, but at the same time, it really isn't. Because, like, let's say you buy a PS4 and an Xbox One game on the Switch. It's going to run crappier than it would on the Xbox One and the PS4. All you're getting by getting that game on the Switch is the ability to play it portable. That's really all you're getting. So it's not like Xbox One and PS4 games coming to Switch gives it more of an advantage. The only advantage you get is the fact that you can play it portable. There's not a lot of advantage. These games don't run better on the Switch. They actually run worse, and there's more limitations. The only thing you're getting, the only benefit you're getting, is being able to play these games that already came out, games that you can play on better hardware. All you're getting by getting them on Switch is portability. So that, like, for example, like the Arkham trilogy, which recently came to Switch, just like I literally said, it's an Xbox One and PS4 game, meaning it's an old game, a game that came out years ago, and yet it runs worster because it is running on worster hardware. So it's not even like the Switch getting these old Xbox One and PS4 games. It's like it's really even that good. It's not really that big of a deal. Like, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Nintendo Switch only will get Xbox One and PS4 games. You will get these versions of these games that already came out years later And for the same price, but worser performance. So a worser experience. I mean, how long did it take them to bring the Arkham trilogy to the Switch? It took them a decade to bring Batman Arkham Knight to the Switch. And a decade later, it runs like crap on the Switch because it's running on a crappier console. And that is all the Nintendo Switch is. It is a crap console. But this is not about the Switch, even though I'm using the Switch as an example. But what I'm trying to say is that Nintendo fucked up with this console's hardware. It was good for a while, but boy, did they milk the fuck out of this thing. And we all know why Nintendo milked the Switch for so long, and we also all know why the Switch is still the current Nintendo console, because it's still making money, and it's still selling like hotcakes. This thing is selling like weed, okay? This console is like weed to the gaming community. People love this thing for some reason, and I cannot fathom why. I'm not a big fan of Xbox, and neither is my subscribers, but honestly, the Xbox Series S is the same price as Switch. And it's actually cheaper if you think about it. Not only does the Xbox Series S have a larger library, and is cheaper because of additions like Game Pass and cheap hard drives to download more games on, but it's also a better console for the exact same price as this one. People, like I said, people will buy these things just for Nintendo's exclusives. And the worst part is, even Nintendo's own games, even the games that Nintendo themselves are releasing on this thing, they run like crap. Why do you think Nintendo is making so many remasters right now? Because they can't even make new games. Because the new games that they want to make probably won't even run on this console. So Nintendo is kind of a shitty company. Like, if you think about it, Nintendo is really kind of a shit company. But the second reason why I am not excited for the next-gen Switch is because I don't think it's going to bring anything new to the portable gaming market. Because let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen, the Steam Deck is probably one of the greatest portable consoles that has ever been released. And ROG Ally, whatever it's called, it doesn't come far back in terms of also being a great handheld console. They're both great consoles. They're both great handheld consoles. But I feel like both the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally have already done everything that a portable console can do, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like all the things that you can do with a portable next-gen console, like all the features and the performance, like, I feel like both the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally have already done that. So I don't really know what Nintendo can do for their own portable console. You see, one thing that Nintendo really should do, besides the fact that their console also should be a lot more powerful in terms of hardware, is they need to add actual console features to their console. Now, the Switch, it's got some cool features. It does, but what Nintendo should do is they need to add better console features for their next-gen console. And I know that Nintendo can be creative. They were creative when they made the first one, so they need to be creative again for the second one. It's like a person making a movie. They're a creative director, so they made a great movie. And when they make the sequel, they don't put the same amount of effort as they did the first one, and then the sequel ends up being shittier and not as good as the first one. I feel like Nintendo is going to make that same mistake with the next-gen Switch. And I know I just said that I love the OG Nintendo fans, but you guys need to raise your standards a bit. Because you guys will literally only buy Nintendo consoles just for the exclusives. Like, don't you guys want a console that actually has benefits besides just the exclusives? I mean, let me give you an example. I love the Xbox, right? I love the Xbox Series X, but not for its exclusives because, well, it doesn't really have any exclusives anymore. I love the Xbox because of its quick resume and its backwards compatibility. Those are two great, fine addition, as well as two great features of the Xbox. I love the PS5 because of the amazing controller, the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, the built-in speakerphone. The PS5 has great features as well. See, I don't just love a console because of the games. I love the consoles because of what the consoles are also bringing for the experience. Like, I love features. I love console features. That's just one thing about me. I love when these companies actually make the consoles themselves cool. I understand that the consoles have no purpose besides just playing the games, but that doesn't mean you can't do something cool for the actual console. Like, give the console some actual cool features. Like, do something. I don't know. And I know that Nintendo can be creative with the next-gen Switch, and it is something that I really would like them to do, because that's the reason why I am not excited for the Switch, the next-gen Switch, because I don't think Nintendo is going to actually bring in any additional new features or mechanics even to actually make the console that cool. I just don't think the console is going to be that cool. Sure, it'll be more powerful than the current Switch. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. And you'll be able to play next-gen Nintendo games, hopefully. You know, hopefully we get Metroid Prime 4 finally, but I'll tell you one thing. You're never going to get a new GTA on there. You're never going to get a new Elden Ring-like game or something like that. Like, the Switch, the next-gen Switch, it's still probably going to be crappy. Probably. If it's more powerful than Steam Deck, that would be a start. My first... oh, sorry about that. My first wish for the next-gen Switch, let's see here. Ah, here we go. More powerful hardware. I need stronger hardware for the next-gen Switch. If the Switch, the next-gen Switch, I'll tell you guys what. If it is more powerful than the Steam Deck, then we can all take a drink to that. Second thing I want. Better console features, because this one, I mean... Well, the Switch gets away with it because the Switch can connect to both the TV and the portable. So that's a console feature right there. So the Switch gets away with it. I'll give the Switch a pass. I'll give the Switch a Game Pass for having some cool features. Did you get what I said about the Game Pass thing? Okay, never mind. I'm not funny. Anyways, better features. So we need better features. Some, you know, just give us some cool features. Like, make the console itself actually stand out from the rest, because we have two portable gaming consoles. We've got the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally, and even Xbox themselves might be making their own handhelds. So we've already got so many handhelds in the market. The next-gen Switch needs to be something unique. They need to make it a unique console. Next thing I want, we need some better exclusives as well. Like, listen, I know that I said that I am a fan of Nintendo somewhat, but I also did say that I'm not a huge fan of Mario. I would like for the next-gen Switch to have some more variety in the titles, because, look, man, like, Nintendo has kind of been serving us up the same crap for a long time now. Like, the same franchises. Like, all we're getting is just sequels. Like, Nintendo really should make some, or at least try to make some new franchises, a new IP maybe. Like, look, the next-gen Switch has a lot of potential. The potential is literally already there. All Nintendo has to do is take advantage of the potential that they already possess, because it's already in their possession. They need to use and take full advantage of the potential that they already have, and then they need to do more. They need to do more to give them even more good potential to make a great console with great games, great performance, and just a great overall experience that is worth the money for the console and the games that we will buy for the console itself. Nintendo needs to do better. That is what I would like for the next-gen Switch. So yeah, I want better games, better hardware, better features. If we can get that for the next-gen Switch, I will be happy. I'll be happy. I will actually buy it myself, because I'm getting a Steam Deck very soon, and I'll tell you guys what, like, if the next-gen Switch is more powerful than the Steam Deck or on par with the Steam Deck, and if it has those better games, and if it has some cool features, like some unique features that can actually make it stand out from the other handhelds in the gaming market, I'll buy it. I will unbox it. I will buy it. I will play it. I will love it, like I have loved every other console I had. Well, except for the Ouya. I'm just kidding. I didn't buy that crap. You guys actually think I was stupid enough to buy that crap? Fuck no. Yeah, that console was a joke. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I definitely did. I know that some Nintendo fans are definitely going to be a bit pissed about this, but like I said, this was nothing more but just a personal discussion video, just a personal opinion. You guys don't gotta be fucking angry over it. It's just my opinion. So yeah, and for those of you who actually stood by and heard me ramble for over 25 minutes, thank you once again for actually watching and actually hearing everything I had to say. You guys are the best. I love my community, love my subscribers. You guys mean the world to me. So yeah, thank you so very much. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments, what do you think about the next-gen Switch? So yeah, I will see you guys in the next discussion video, or just the next video in general. I'll see you guys when I see you, because it's always a pleasure. Take care, y'all. Peace.